Good evening, my dear friends. Today I want to talking with you about role wife and husband, and just want to start from chapter 1 of Genesis, book of Genesis, verse 26. God said, "Let us make man in our own image, in the likeness of ourselves, and let them be masters of the fish of the sea, the birds of heaven, the cattle, all the wild animals, and all the creatures that creep along the ground." God created man in the image of himself. In the image of God he created him, male and female he created them. God blessed them, saying to them, "Be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth and subdue it. Be masters of the fish of the sea, the birds of heaven, and all the living creatures that move on earth." And verse 31. God saw all he had made, and indeed it was very good. Evening came and morning came, the sixth day. God created man as a similarity of himself. He made man as a masters of earth and everything on it. All living creatures, all plants, everything, like masters, like lords. And God, after creation, looked at everything and he said, all that very, very good. As it said, God saw all he had made, and indeed it was very good. But after that, in chapter 2, in chapter 2, we can see that man and woman won't be created simultaneously. First was created man, and after that woman in second turn. And also we can see that in all that was very good were something that was not so good, and we can see in chapter 2 from the verse 15. Yahweh God took the man and settled him in the garden of Eden to cultivate and take care of it. Then Yahweh God gave the man this command: "You are free to eat all of the fruits in the garden, but the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you are not to eat, for the day you eat of that you are doomed to die." And in the verse 18, Yahweh God said, "It is not right that the man should be alone. I shall make him a helper." So from the soil Yahweh God fashioned all the wild animals and all the birds of heaven. These he brought to the man to see what he would call them. Each one was to bear the name the man would give it. The man gave names to all the cattle, all the birds of heaven, and all the wild animals, but no helper suitable for the man was found for him. So, in everything that was so good, but God have seen something that not very good. God said, it is not right that man is alone. He need helper. And God brought to him every living creatures, and man called them some way, some name to give them, but no one will really feed to him as a helper. And so God decided to solve this problem that he saw other way, and we can see which way. Then Yahweh from 21 verse. Then Yahweh God made the man fall into a deep sleep, and while he was asleep he took one of his ribs and closed the flesh up again forthwith. Yahweh God fashioned the rib that he had taken from the man into a woman, and brought her to the man. And the man said, "This one at last is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She is to be called woman, because she was taken from man. This is why a man leaves his father and mother and becomes attached to his wife, and they become one flesh." So after that, God decided, no, this problem should be solved other way, and he took part of man's body and created from this part a woman. And it was helper who really suited the man, and man was really inspired he cried, it's very good, it's woman, because it's take from man, it's blood it's flesh of my flesh, bone of my bones. So he was really inspired. But and also there is this verse, this is why a man leaves his father and becomes attached to his wife, and they become one flesh. But I want to ask you, God wants to give man helper, but helper in what? Eve should be helper in what? God has, man has one responsibility, to cultivate garden and just to do some work and to keep this garden from God, garden in Eden. We can see that in chapter 2, verse 15, Yahweh God took the man and settled him in the garden of Eden to cultivate and take care of it. So it's all responsibility of man to cultivate the garden and take care of it. What should be the help of the woman? Help to cultivate man this garden? But there is no bad insects in this time. There is no bad plants, only good plants who give good fruits. So what actually helper should be Eve? And as if we can see the next chapter, chapter 3, we can see that actually Eve helped Adam in only one thing, to sin. She just helped him to sin, nothing more, what we can see in the Bible. What was the helper? Really this helper suit for this man? What meaning? What God see there not enough in this beautiful place in Eden, in paradise? What was not enough, and why he gave Adam woman? And only thing that we can see from the Bible in what woman really help Adam, it's just to sin, nothing more. As I can see, she really helped. What was the meaning of all that? Let's try to understand it through verses from New Testament. Let's check first letter of Peter. First letter of Peter, chapter 3, from the first verse. In the same way, you wives should be obedient to your husbands. Then, if there are some husbands who do not believe the word, they may find themselves won over without a word spoken by the way their wives behave. When they see the reverence and purity of your way of life, your adornment should be not an exterior one, consisting of braided hair or gold jewelry or fine clothing, but the interior disposition of the heart, consisting in the imperishable quality of a gentle and peaceful spirit, so precious in the sight of God. That was how the holy women of the past dressed themselves attractively. They hoped in God and were submissive to their husbands, like Sarah, who was obedient to Abraham and called her Lord. You are now her children, as long as you live good lives free from fear and worry. In the same way, husbands must always treat their wives with consideration in their life together, respecting a woman as one who, though she may be the weaker partner, is equally an heir to the generous gift of life. This will prevent anything from coming in the way of your prayers. So, for me as a man, the most important in this piece of Bible, of course, it's 7th verse that took with me as a husband. But generally, I can see this piece of Bible text as for women, it just telling, be quiet, be humble, be obedient to their husband. Calm down, please calm down and be obedient. Trust and respect your husband. And for husbands, it tells just love your wife anyway, independently from her behavior. Be really honorable with her. Be really delicate and precious with her. Really careful. with her independently from her behavior. Because, you know, for me as for man, it's often temptation to treat my wife as if she just other man, but a man who behave himself some strange way, as if we have some agreement between each other, but she very often, constantly just broke our agreement, just broke in one way, broke in other way. She behave himself like herself, like I don't expect it and I don't agree with it. But if we remember what was in the Genesis chapter 3, that was the absolutely same situation. Satan just through Eve can conceive Adam, can cheat Adam, and can tempt Adam to sin. Actually, through Eve he can do it. And so, what it all about? I think that Eve don't want to sin. Actually, Eve want to good. Eve want to help. Eve want to do something better. Tree has really good looking. Tree has really good fruits. It gave knowledge. It gave really good looking, and Eve want just to make something better, to make something better for her husband, for his family, for their family. Eve have good intention. I believe in that. She don't want to sin. She want to make something good. And I think that Adam has full responsibility for himself and for Eve. I don't know. Maybe Adam should to explain Eve all commandments from God concerning him and her. Maybe God himself tell the same thing to Eve what he tell Adam, that you shouldn't to eat fruits from this tree. I don't know, because Bible not said it directly. But I think that anyway, Adam should to love her and should take full responsibility for himself and for her. He should to learn to be very deep in his love to her, and to be very deep in his relationship with God. And he should, I think he should to tell Eve, dear Eve, there is God, you are my helper, and God our Father and our Lord, please don't touch this tree and don't eat it, because it's what our God tell to do us. It's very, very important. He tells us, don't do it, don't eat it. And it's his responsibility to explain for her how important it is. He should be really deep in relationship with God, and he should be really deep in a relationship with her to explain all that and to take responsibility for himself, for herself, for his family, and for all situation. She just helper, and he master. He master. They both. It's not like Eve just second. Not. It's just Bible said about Eve about like a weaker partner, but it doesn't mean that man better than woman. It's not like this. It's just like man, or absolutely any, doesn't matter, man or woman. We have one hand stronger than other man, the other hand. Why? It doesn't mean that one hand is more important than other. We prefer both. We need both of hands. But when one hand definitely, obviously stronger than other, it's much easier for us to make in extreme situation quick and right decision how to do something when you have some extreme situation. So it's also easy to manage processes when you have some who stronger and has more management, more way and role as a manager and other as a helper. It's different role. It's easier to make decisions more quicker and more right. Women can be much more smart and much more knowledgeable and much more intuitive and much more better in some situation. In other situation can be better man. It's obvious thing, but Bible said to us clear instructions that women should be more obedient and calm and humble, and husband, men, should be more love and you should just love independently from behavior of her wife. What exactly God see? What lack of what God see when He saw Adam in paradise in chapter 2 of Genesis? I think He saw that yes, Adam is my similarity, but he need to learn how to love. He need to learn how to forgive. He need to learn how to take care about somebody except himself. And it's inevitable. It's impossible to do it not in real relationship with a real man. He needs somebody about whom he can take care, about whom he can forgive, whom he can take care, whom he have just to study some things. He needs somebody who can love, even when this other man makes some mistakes, make some maybe bad decisions, make some bad steps. What I believe lack of what God see when He saw Adam alone, and what was the suitable helper for Adam, and what was actually role of Eve, just to help Adam to take responsibility, not just for himself but for somebody else. And let's take a look and else one piece of Bible. It's Ephesians, letter for Ephesians, chapter 5, from 21st verse. Be subject to one another out of reverence for Christ. Wives should be subject to their husbands as to the Lord, since as Christ is head of the church and saves the whole body, so is the husband the head of his wife. And as the church is subject to Christ, so should wives be to their husbands in everything. Husbands should love their wives, just as Christ loved the church and sacrificed himself for her, to make her holy by washing her in cleansing water with a form of words, so that when he took the church to himself, she would be glorious, with no speck of wrinkle or anything like that, but holy and faultless. In the same way, husbands must love their wives as they love their own bodies. For a man to love his wife is for him to love himself. A man never hates his own body, but he feeds it and looks after it. And that is the way Christ treats the church, because we are parts of his body. As a man, I can confirm that I love my body always. I take care I want that my body have good food in good quantity and good quality. I want to have good rest, good sleep. I want to take all other things for my body. I'm really precious about my body, really care. But as I said already, to my wife, I have lots of time, temptations to see for her as for my partner who just break our agreement, as if she just other man, or she just my partner who just not behave herself as I expect from her. But it's wrong conception, it's wrong approach, because Bible said I should to love her as my body. There I should to love her independently from her behavior. I should take responsibility for her as Adam should be take responsibility for Eve, to forgive, to take care, to love independently. Christ always loved the church independently from behavior of church. So the husband should always love the wife independently from behavior of the wife. All problems in behavior of wife, it should be husband shouldn't expect that she solve the problems, but it's actually his responsibility in general meaning, in spiritual meaning. It's actually his responsibility. I know that everybody responsible for himself. I agree that we can't to take full literal responsibility for behavior of other men or women, or women, because we are all adult people, and everyone responsible for himself generally. But in spiritual meaning, but in some general meaning, it's as this piece from Ephesians tells me that all problems of my wife, it's my problems. God gave me suitable for me helper in what? Helper to love, helper to forgive, helper to take care, helper to just to help her. I shouldn't to be to treat with her like with men, but I should to treat with her like with a person whom I should to help in everything, to take care in everything. And it's not easy. It's not easy. I remember when I, in practical life, if you marry in marriage many years, you know what I'm talking about. I remember when I first time I just recognized that God gave me my wife. He just, I asked him about some sign, and I get this sign. I don't want to describe it in details, but I take this sign from him, and I was happy. I was happy because I know God gave me the wife. I know it, and I was happy. I know nothing in that time about what is really to be in marriage, what is really to be a husband and wife. I don't know, for this time I have nothing knowledge about some difficulties that can be in marriage. But I was just happy that God gave me a wife, and I was just happy as Adam in chapter 2 of Genesis. And I think it's really, really important to remember that it's God gave us this man, this woman. It's gift from God. It's not just, we shouldn't to see at our wife like you're wrong in this case, you're wrong in this case, you're wrong in this case. It's not just our wife, it's our helper that gave us our God to help us to love, to take care, to be happy, just to take care in everything. And we should to be happy independently from her behavior. I hope that you understand what I tried to say. And it's really important for me. It's really important for me. And the end of piece of the Bible in the Ephesians, exactly the same like end of chapter 2 of Genesis. This is why a man leaves his father and mother and becomes attached to his wife, and the two become one flesh. It's great. it's great, it's very great that we can love our wife and they also can be with us. And this helper from us to love and to take care and to forgive. And also it's so great gift from God. And I understand why Adam was so happy when God gave him Eve, because it's really good helper, and it was really great gift. Thank you very much that you're watching this video. It was not so easy probably for you and for me also, but thank you very much. I'm grateful that you watching this. Bye for now. See you next time. Bye.